Assalamu alaikum guys, you are watching The Wake Up, and yep, it has been a hot minute since I have uploaded a video, and that's mainly because the channel is going through some changes at the moment. First and foremost being, it's not really going to be like a podcast anymore, because I thought rather than bringing on guests and having conversations with them, I want you guys to be more a part of the conversation. Which is why a couple of weeks ago I did put up a post on my Instagram asking if you guys could send me some DMs about topics that you want to discuss, or questions that you might have, kind of like an agni aunt thing. But yeah, alhamdulillah, I did get a few responses and I am so grateful for that, so thank you so much. And I'm gonna get straight into it. So the question says, Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. I was wondering if you could share your hijab journey and why you decided to wear hijab and niqab. I am confused about whether Islam has actually made it mandatory, and I feel like I want to wear it, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to face some of the challenges that may come with it. Any insight on this would be appreciated. Please blur my name if you post this. Okay, so firstly, I just want to clarify that I wear niqab mainly on camera because I don't want to show my face, especially because inshallah one day I do hope that I wear niqab full time, and I don't want it to be a case where I have to take down these videos, do you know what I mean, like so long. So yeah, just to clarify that. So secondly, I feel like when you are on your journey with hijab, or where you're having thoughts about wearing hijab, I don't really recommend like asking for other people's hijab journey, if that makes sense. Only because I feel like, everyone's journey is different. We're all coming from different places, different backgrounds, and we're trying to reach one end destination, that's for sure. And I just feel like, some people's opinions might be different, and it's not always useful to have unnecessary information, do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we are in an era where there's so much unnecessary information already out there. So when it comes to hijab, let's look at the facts and make your judgment from there, right? So you also said that I'm more confused about whether Islam has actually made it mandatory. Which is interesting because I actually have had an encounter with another person before where they've come to me and they've said, wearing hijab actually isn't compulsory in Islam. I don't know why people do it because it doesn't say it in the Quran. So I made sure that for this video, I did my research and found out where exactly in the Quran it says that you should wear hijab. Okay. So Surat An-Nur, ayah 31. So Allah tells us, and tell the believing women to reduce some of their vision and guard their private parts, and not expose their adornment except that which is necessary, and to wrap a portion of their head coverings over their chests. So point blank there, Allah tells us use your head coverings, which implies cover your head, use that to also cover your chest. Where there has been a lot of misinterpretation or speculation that does it really tell us hijab, is because Allah specifically doesn't say put a cloth over your head, right? However, just to give a bit of background information, so when this ayah was revealed during the Prophet ﷺ time, the women were already covering their hair with a khimar, right? So they covered their hair, but they done it like, the turban style that some people do nowadays, where your neck is exposed and your chest is exposed. So Allah put that ayah out to command the woman to cover their chest. However, the word khimar, it's a very specific word in the Arabic language, right? We all know Arabic is a very specific language as it is. Like, the way that things are interpreted is so much more specific and detailed and complex compared to like a language like English, right? So, there's a word for when you wear a hijab up to here, and there's a word for when your hijab comes up to here, and there's a word for a niqab which is here, and a niqab that's covered here. So, it's a very specific. So it's as specific as saying wear your socks, right? When someone tells you wear your socks, you don't question, oh, should I wear it on my feet, or because that's a given. It's as specific as that, as given as that, right? So, you know, the question of it being, should I wear hijab, should I not, like, it's there's no question. Allah has asked us, Allah has commanded that the believing woman cover themselves up. That then brings me on to the next speculation. I don't know if speculation is the right word, but I hope it is. But the next like kind of conversation that's often revolving around hijab is, oh, why as women do we need to wear hijab to cover up for men, right? And the fact of the matter is, right, I looked everywhere in the Quran to find an ayah that where Allah says, cover yourselves because of men. Cover yourselves so men are not tempted. There's nothing that says that. In fact, in the Quran, Allah commands the men, the believing men, tell the believing men to lower their gaze. He revealed that ayah before any ayah to do with women covering themselves, right? So what that indicates is that Allah is telling the believing men, lower your gaze regardless of whether or not a woman is covered from head to toe, or if she is exposing her skin or anything like that. Men must lower their gaze. Yeah, that's something that Allah has commanded of the men to do regardless of what is going on with the woman. And the woman, Allah has said, cover yourself. What that implies to me is that He's not telling you to cover yourself because of men, because men have to lower their gaze regardless. It's more about cover yourself because this is something that will cause a spiritual problem for the believing woman. And the reason that we could argue that it is going to cause a spiritual problem is, the main thing is, right, look, as women, you got to be real. You got to be real with yourself, right? Women, we are obsessed with looking presentable and looking in a way that is desired, right? And that's just me being like really like vague and black and white about it. Obviously, it's not, you know, for every single specific person that's exactly the case, but it's as a majority, right, as women, we care about looking, you know, good. We care about, you know, a lot of these things more than men do. And the way that this can lead to a spiritual problem is that it can easily become a rabbit hole that we fall into, right? We can become obsessed, and there's no doubt about it, because look at like the world of social media and how much people invest in, you know, like showing their outfits, and how much people are endorsed and paid, and how many followers people have of just like a hijabi fashion page or a, you know, a makeup page, etc. Like the beauty industry alone is worth $507.8 billion, and it's predicted to go up, I think, by another 200 billion by 2025. So that is brazy. That is brazy. Yeah, because it's so apparent how obsessed we are and how consumed we are by the way that we look and how we're presented, that, you know, the world is making a lot of money off us. They're really taking advantage of that, you know. And Allah has asked of us to do this as a way to protect us from those spiritual challenges that we could fall into. Also, at the end of the day, like, hijab is liberation, and the main thing is you need to ask yourself, right, if I am considering wearing hijab, what are my intentions behind it? Am I doing it, you know, for peer pressure? Am I doing it for status? Am I doing it because my parents have told me to? Because, you know, the whole point is you have to be self-aware. Be self-aware with everything that you're doing. Be intentional with everything that you're doing, right? And you know how, like, a lot of people would say, oh, like, you want to wear hijab, but, you know, oh, you're still wearing trousers, or, you know, or, I don't know, you want to wear hijab, but maybe you still swear, or you smoke, or, you know, something like that. You're still struggling with other things, right? Fix those before you wear hijab. I don't really agree with that, because I genuinely believe that your bad deeds cannot take away from your good deeds, but your good deeds can take away from your bad. As the Prophet ﷺ has said, you know, the goodness will help you in the long run with the sins that you are struggling with. So don't let that stop you. So he says, you know, women should not expose their beauty except that which is obvious and necessary. In this ayah is so beautiful because Allah is telling you, woman, it is a given, you are beautiful. I have created woman beautifully, right? Your beauty is there. And I feel like it really takes a lot of work within yourself and a lot of work within your spiritual journey to really get to a place where you understand that my Lord, who has created the beautiful sun and the beautiful moon and the beautiful sky, he is telling me that I am beautiful, and I better look at myself and believe that, because that's my Lord telling me. And you know, it's not an easy journey. It's not an easy journey to get there. Like subhanallah, like us women, we really do struggle. We struggle with like looking at ourselves and feeling beautiful and feeling that we're worth it. But you so are, because Allah told you you are. Allah told you you are. So there is no way in hell anyone else can tell you that you are not, right? And he's created someone perfect for you who will see that beauty as well. Do you know what I mean? So we don't ever need to be in a place where we need to prove ourselves or earn some kind of approval or validation from someone else to tell us that we're beautiful, because Allah has told us that we're beautiful. And we really need to be in a place where we can read these words and really connect with those words and believe it. One thing that I do see people do bring up in the conversation of hijab is that as a woman, especially living in Western society, is what opportunities that could be taken away from me because of my hijab. Bro, like Allah is Ar-Razak, he is the provider. Whatever job, whatever thing that you're going for, always remember, ultimately it's not the interviewer who's giving you the job, it's not the CEO of the company who's giving you the job, it's Allah. Allah is giving you your risk. Your risk was written for you before you were born. Before you are put on this earth, Allah has written for you what is going to come for you. So don't you dare ever think that your hijab will come in the way of that risk, because that's not true. That's just not true. Do you know what I mean? Everything is a test. Everything is a test. Allah's testing your thought process. Allah's testing whether or not you're thinking, oh, should I take my hijab off for this interview just so, you know, I can seem more friendly, seem more approachable? Because at the end of the day, these are all tricks of shaitan. There's no way. And if something, you know, if someone does reject you and they outright say, oh, I reject you because of your hijab or whatever, or if they might not say it, the point is that wasn't meant for you. And believe within your soul that Allah has got something better planned for you, right? So yeah, in answer to your question, I'm not going to keep this too long. I'm just going to say, like, whatever my journey is or whatever someone else's journey is, that does not matter. What matters is your journey and your connection with Allah and how much you love Allah, because trust me, he loves you. He loves you so much. That's why he's putting these thoughts in your head and making you think, oh, do I want to wear hijab? You know, he loved you so much that he has brought this question to me and made me do this research, which inshallah is going to benefit other people, but you are the seed from that. You are the seed source from that. Yeah, those thoughts that you're having, he wants you to, you know, gain his love. And, you know, just remember, at the end of the day, we're in this, it's an honor, it's a liberation. We're here standing, we're soldiers for Allah. Like, don't ever take that lightly. Don't ever take that lightly. It's a privilege. It's a privilege. So you wear those hijabs and, you know, the abayas and the khimars and everything, wear it like a crown on your head, because wallahi, like, we're not given enough credit for how difficult it is, but how much of a honor it is, and, you know, how much we'll see inshallah in the day of Qiyamah. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys, and I'll link my Instagram in the bio. If you guys want to send in more DMs, please send me.